According to an internet search, around 5% of the population are narcissists. I questioned this figure, and I've seen it online, not a lot, but like a couple people have questioned it. How do they come up with this figure? Because I've never seen any sources cited. And I've even talked with a therapist about it, and she agreed. Because just think about it. Someone with narcissistic personality disorder doesn't even know they have it, except for rare exceptions. They think they're such a good person because they always try to convince themselves of it. And one of the main traits of having narcissistic personality disorder is a lack of self-awareness. And most of them truly don't believe they have it or that anything's wrong with them. It's always other people. So that makes me think, if they don't know they have it, and throw that on top of the fact that narcissists rarely go to therapy, at least for the right reasons a normal person would, how are they counting them? That statistic doesn't make any sense. And that's scary, because if there's 5% and there's obviously an undercount with that number, there must be a lot of them out there when you think about it. And I've actually spoken with quite a few narcissists who have gone to therapy, but they haven't been diagnosed with narcissism. I know, I can't diagnose them, but you know what I mean. You know, like, and that's the scary thing is, and normally I say leave it to the professionals. It's not for us to diagnose. But a lot of therapists don't know much about narcissism. Unless they specialize in it, some really miss it, because they'll, focus on the narcissist. If they do go in, will usually go in for one of the symptoms like depression or anxiety. And the narcissists that I assumed were narcissists just had that feeling. They never really progressed. They didn't move on and they didn't really make any progress in therapy either. What do you know? Because the real thing was never addressed. So that's the thing. A lot of therapists aren't even, I don't know. Is it just because the therapists really don't know, or do they just want to keep a client and they deep down, they know if they tell a narcissist they have NPD that the client will leave? It makes you wonder. So if narcissists don't know they're narcissists, there's therapists out there who aren't diagnosing the narcissists and are just diagnosing some of the lesser symptoms. The fact, how do they even count 5% of the population as narcissists? I don't get it. Like, where do they even get that number from? Because I've seen a lot out there that aren't diagnosed. Most aren't. So the 5% of the population and most aren't diagnosed. That's scary. That is really scary. But it makes you wonder, like, why do they even present that statistic? Why aren't they trying to find a more accurate representation of the percentage of our population that have NPD? Because it's something that would be really useful. Just for my own personal testimony, what I learned about NPD and how to handle it so I could work on myself and know how to deal with people that have it, my life got much better. And, it helped me stop being abused and realize what I needed to heal so I could live a happier life and not blame myself. And if there's a lot of them out there, chances are that means a lot of people are getting abused, whether it's physically, mentally, or psychologically. And if people are getting abused, a lot of them, why isn't more research, more time, more money spent on studying this concept and resources being allocated to find out what they could do to deal with it, to eradicate it? Because it's horrible. Anyone who's ever dealt with a narcissist up close, especially for an extended period of time, knows what I'm saying. It seems insane that they're not exploring this more, figuring out what to do about it, if it's really affecting a lot of the population. I have seen someone comment, and I haven't seen her say this firsthand, but someone did comment that Dr. Romney, who is a therapist that is an expert on narcissists, and I think is really good at spotting it and diagnosing it, she said that 20% of the population are narcissists. And that seems more accurate. Possibly still very undercounted, but much more accurate than the 5% statistic. Because if a lot of narcissists don't know they have NPD, they're the very few that do go to therapy, a lot of them are being diagnosed with it. And then the other ones that are just avoiding therapy altogether because they generally do, they don't think anything's wrong with them. That leaves such an opening for so many undiagnosed narcissists to be out there. And that's a very scary thought. And it makes me wonder, is there any way for us to get a more accurate count? I saw someone joke online that we should start a database, just everyone list who's a narcissist. Problem with that is there are some people that probably aren't qualified to really sort them out. While I'm all about awareness and protection, at the same time, and the idea is funny to me, at the same time, I could easily see that turning into a witch hunt, which would be fair. And narcissists are vindictive, so what's to stop a narcissist from going in there and just saying that their empath X was a narcissist? So, it could be used to ruin good people as well who are narcissists. That's the problem. But I will stand by, I really believe the 5% of the population, our narcissist statistic, is vastly underrepresented. And it seems that there are other professionals who are agreeing. And even Richard Grannon, just a week or two ago, has said, and he used to doubt this, but he's finally conceded that he does think there are more narcissists, that the percentage is increasing. So if he's even saying that, and he's been exploring them from, I think he says 2012, that they really are. He would just say that. And it's something I felt too, that the percentage just keeps going up and up. Because that's another thing that I sometimes wonder. Has there always been this amount of narcissists, but I just wasn't aware of it? My conclusion is I don't think so. Because even back when I was a kid and I didn't know what to look for, like just take my family for instance, I could spot something was wrong. Something just didn't quite add up. So even though I wasn't able to say, aha, you or they have narcissistic personality disorder, something was off. I was able to sense that. And I didn't sense that as much when I was younger. Over the decades, I've been sensing it more and more. And arguably, I've become more sensitive. So like I said, I do give in to the fact that part of it is on me and I can spot it much, much easier now. But there is that element that the percentage of the narcissists are really increasing and rapidly, I would say. And I've actually talked to a therapist about this and she's agreed. She says our society is designed really to support narcissism. Social media was her big factor that she thinks played into it. And it makes sense because social media, you really get to portray your best self. You don't have to portray any negative quality or event whatsoever. And what do narcissists like? The fake public persona. So they can carefully craft what they present to the world online, which doesn't take as much energy as it does constantly in real life. So social media can really be a narcissist's dream. They just have to show their best side for a short amount of time, by just making a post or two. And no one sees what they're doing the other 23 or so hours a day. So social media, I think, is really geared to narcissists. They can just portray how wonderful they are and perfect they are. And those are the type of posts that really hurt people that are doing the inner work and sometimes coming up against true adversity. and they're wondering why. Oh man, why isn't my healing journey like this? And the answer is because that's not the healing journey. And I used to keep quiet on it because I just wanted to focus on myself, and that is a good thing. But I'm like, teach their own. But then I've seen people and clients who would come to me that says like it discouraged them on their healing path because they thought that's what healing's supposed to look like, and theirs was messy. And I would tell them, no, like healing is messy. It's great to have a self-care day or an easy day here or there for sure. Like that's part of it, but it's not all of it. There's much more. And if you're really doing the real work, it gets messy, to say the least. That's an understatement. Speaking of social media, that also reminds me of one not so known factor of how to spot a narcissist that might follow you or you're friends with early on. And I'm not saying they all do this or everyone who does it is one, but a big percentage are. And the spiritual term for it is spirit monitors. And they're those social media people that have followed you for a while, but they'll never like anything you post. And some of them, which is an even bigger indicator, if you post a story, they'll check it out instantly. It's like, how do they even know it came out that fast? You're just like, what is this? But if you post a story and you see someone checks it out instantly, and this is a continuous thing, and they still never like anything you post or go to like support any of your events, I've found chances are that person has always been a narcissist. And the term spirit monitors is actually interesting because in the spiritual community, they believe that it's basically negative entities that are set to check in on you and monitor you and even in some cases sabotage you. I can't vouch for the spiritual realm 100%, but the physical realm, I have seen it happen a lot. And it's your call if you want to invite that negative monitoring energy in. The best thing you could do is block them. If they're not going to support you and they're just going to take energy away from you and just send you bad energy, like by not being supportive, my theory is why even have that in your life? Just get rid of them, because it's just inviting jealousy, and that can weigh on you whether you know it or not. If you have a friend or follower and you're liking their posts and following them and supporting them, and they're not giving anything back to you, not a like or any support whatsoever, and especially if they've been following or liking you for a long time, then just raise up your guard, because chances are that's a narcissist, and probably a covert one. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Narcissist Hunters, where I'm putting all this information out there to empower you so you're able to resist the narcissist.